Well, Dr. Drew, this is not about Jodi Arias deviant or criminal deviance. We're talking about Travis Alexander's actions in light of his peer group, his Mormon individuals. So how does that play into deviance since his acceptable social standards were not to have sexual contact at all outside of marriage?
You know, it's a good point because, you know, the prosecution is saying that she was obsessed with him, but they're kind of glossing over the fact that he called her, he sent her text messages, and even though they broke up, they continued this sexual relationship.
Don't check your Twitter tonight. People get very upset about those sorts of things. Blaming the victim really gets people upset. Okay, thank you to Monica Lindstrom, the prosecutor.
I appreciate you being honest about that.
Well, I think number one is the fact that she confessed. She straight up admitted to the fact that she killed him. Close second, I think, is the camera. The camera puts her there. The camera shows that she's involved. The camera even takes some pictures that she didn't want pictures taken of. So I think that that is essentially the smoking gun.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, you will come back with a verdict of guilty because Travis Alexander was a sexual deviant. You're going to hear evidence from an ex-girlfriend about how he talked about sex a lot. You're going to see pictures of pigtails, a French maid outfit, and the baptism of Jodi Arias, all having to do with sex. You're also going to hear Travis's own words that talk about his sexual contact and his fantasies. Last, you're going to hear a verse from the Book of Mormon that essentially says any sexual contact outside the bounds of marriage is adultery and is thus deviant from the accepted standards of his religion. And you'll come back with a verdict of guilty.
Testimony about what happened in the relationship, and we're going to hear more. But there's nothing about physical abuse from Travis Alexander other than Jodi's self-serving words. We don't have any other evidence.
Respectfully.
State of mind.
Respectfully.
So what? And
I think everyone's missing
she shouldn't date him? Oh, well, that's a bad fact. We've got so many other facts against Jodi, especially that 6-inch cut that you just pointed out, Jane. That's pretty telling.
Well, everybody's definition of sexual deviance can be different. It's very, very subjective. But what we have here is a Mormon man who's supposed to follow the rules within his religion. We know that he didn't because that shows sexual contact, that shows sexual fantasies, that just isn't allowed.
I don't think that she's making him look like a really, really bad person. There are some bad facts there, especially with the email to the Hughes and the Hughes warning Jodi to stay away from him because he's manipulated at least one woman in the past and wasn't really nice to her. But that's just one bad fact. When we pile up all the other bad facts against Jodi, Travis doesn't come out looking like a bad guy at all.
Jodi Arias and Travis were bonding. It made them feel like a couple. They had memories from it. I mean, how special were those trips? That could be turned around on the defense to say that that was a motive for murder because he wasn't taking her to Cancun.
No, if you really listen to these journal entries, she really has a lot of love and a lot of affection for him. Now, there are some conflicts in the journal entries. She is putting some negative things in there. So this isn't only a case about some wicked woman who is obsessed and just trying to hurt him every chance she had. This is the first time that we're really hearing about his feelings, not just you know, what he thinks about her. People have said all along that he really didn't care for her, he didn't like her, he was just using her for sex. And I agree that he was getting a lot of sex from her, but this is an example. He is showing us in this text message that at some point he had good feelings about her that I don't think were just connected to sex.
They don't want to see this come back on an appeal. They want a clean conviction.
They're going to be comprehensive. Okay, Monica. Both sides are going to be very comprehensive in their questions.
Monica's too polite. That's the thing. We'll Monica, give us a 10 seconds.
You know, everybody's right. You know, she needs to be given a break every once in a while because we don't want this coming back. We want no issue for appeal whatsoever. We want it to be clean. And in the grand scheme of things, so what? We took an afternoon off. Not a big deal. If she's feeling ill, if she's not feeling well, whether it's a headache or it's a migraine or whatever it is, give her the break so we don't have it coming back.